When the Los Angeles Philharmonic got the curious notion it needed another opera director on its payroll, Peter Sellars had been the first in the 1990s, it gave Yuval Sharon the vague title of artist-collaborator last season, after he rejected disruptor at large as having become too conventionally corporate. What Sharon really is an opera-tor at large. He turns whatever he touches, and wherever he wanders, into opera, whether it wants to be or not. So here's what you need to know about the heavily hyped War of the Worlds that Sharon mounted at the Walt Disney Concert Hall on Sunday afternoon for the LA Phil, in collaboration with his own massively disruptive opera company, The Industry, and the non-profit Now Art LA. A new opera and new kind of opera by Annie Gosfield, it does everything an opera's supposed to. It does a lot opera's not supposed to do. That includes immersive opera, one of Sharon's specialties as the mastermind of Hopscotch, the celebrated opera in Otto's 2 years ago. There are 2 more performances of War of the Worlds, both on Saturday afternoon as part of the LA Phil New Music Marathon noon to midnight. Stop reading and go straight the LA Phil website and nab any seat you can find. Tickets start at $25. On the most basic level, this is a fairly straightforward operatic adaptation and update of Orson Welles' famous 1938 radio broadcast, based on H. G. Wells' science fiction novel The War of the Worlds. At a time when radio broadcasts were beginning to be interrupted by news flashes, Wells treated the play as an ordinary dance band radio program with increasingly frightening bulletins of an alien invasion. The brilliantly theatrical Night Before Halloween prank caused panic among some gullible listeners, giving credence to Russian futurist Velimir Klebnikov's prediction that radio had the power to become the great sorcerer. Sharon sees the panic as an early warning sign of the imposing threat of fake news. Craig T. Matthews / Los Angeles Philharmonic. Sigourney Weaver is narrator of War of the Worlds at Walt Disney Concert Hall. Sigourney Weaver is narrator of War of the Worlds at Walt Disney Concert Hall. Craig T. Matthews / Los Angeles Philharmonic. Riffing on the radio show, this War of the Worlds begins as a symphony concert, albeit one with a celebrity host, Sigourney Weaver. The opera will eventually take over the concert, which is meant to include Gosfield's new celestial orchestral cycle to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Holst's The Planets. The program book has elaborately descriptive program notes by one Alastair Featherbottom, of the new 9-planet suite, which begins with Mercury, the trickster. A bass, James Hayden, is part of the languorously sexy Venus movement that follows, offering camp intimations of some bisexual Elvis business. We get no further, no robot taking the orchestra or 99 women's voices lift us to random perfection of Pluto. Jessica Gelt. A wiry orange alien scuttles across a cracked parking lot near the corner of 4th and Main Streets downtown. The creature towers over the acting Secretary of the Interior, who stands before a microphone broadcasting a somber statement to the public. Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal. A wiry orange alien scuttles across a cracked parking lot near the corner of 4th and Main Streets downtown. The creature towers over the acting Secretary of the Interior, who stands before a microphone broadcasting a somber statement to the public. Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal. Jessica Gelt. Weaver breaks in again and again on the first 2 movements with reports from outdoors, which are beamed into the hall, audio only, this is radio. Astronomy Professor Pearson, actor Hugo Armstrong, standing on a parking lot, attempts to allay fear with his soothing British accent. Mrs. Martinez, mezzo-soprano Susanna Guzman, offers a more feverish first-hand account of the scary machines and creatures somewhere on Main Street. General Lansing, baritone Hedla Adams, haplessly leads the troops in attacking the aliens. Before long the music creeps into the action. The Martians have an alien voice and soprano Hyla Plitman's stratospherically supernatural coloratura, and she does look like she might have stepped out of an outtake of Alien, accompanied by theremin and otherworldly percussion. Sharon's libretto follows Peter Koch's original radio play fairly closely. LA doesn't fare any better than New York City. Civic officials are of little help, although the mayor valiantly tries. There is political humor for all. We're told at the end that Disney Hall's titanium reflected the Martians' death rays. Of course, titanium proved too expensive to the music center bottomliners, so architect Frank Gehry actually turned to steel. Fake news really may signal the end of us all. The best way to write about War of the Worlds is not to write about it, which is why I've left the show's secret weapon to the end, even though it should necessarily always be the first item of operatic business with a new work. It, though, is the greatest surprise of all. Gosfield is a composer who often picks up old stuff and puts it to new use in her pieces, be it a piano score of Debussy, junk from decrepit factories, or the scratchy cactus needles that were once used for playing 78 RPM records. Her approach to War of the Worlds seems to be that of a 22nd century post-Martian invasion musician archaeologist trying to recreate the music of a time slightly earlier than our own, using a few clues and the broken remnants of instruments and rusty electronics. Craig T. Matthews / Los Angeles Philharmonic. Christopher Roundtree conducting. Christopher Roundtree conducting. Craig T. Matthews / Los Angeles Philharmonic. The electronics are pervasive in the orchestra, and the Los Angeles Philharmonic New Music Group was conducted with exceptional vibrancy and dramatic flair by Christopher Roundtree, yet another secret weapon. Those electronics at first can sound like they are meant to degrade modern instrumental timbre in a boneheaded effort toward authenticity, but they wind up doing the opposite, enhancing the color and atmospheric flavor of whatever they come near. Still, half the time you don't know what is what. The solo cello that underscores Professor Pearson, or the violin and bassoon for the acting secretary of the Interior, Estela Ramos, are so effective that they seem to amplify the spoken voice. Finally, there are those decommissioned sirens left over from the Second World War that still peek out from behind billboards and buildings around town, noticed primarily by history buffs. They're the symbol of the production and were one of the motivating ideas for both Sharon and Gosfield, who was obsessed with them when she studied at Cal Arts in the 1980s. In the end, they are about the least interesting thing visually, theatrically, or sonically about the production. It is not that they aren't marvelous in their mysteriously antiquated way, it is just that every other aspect of this opera and its sensational production and performance happens to be more marvelous. Go for the curtain call alone. That I won't give away. Black diamond, 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 black diamond. War of the Worlds. Where? Walt Disney Concert Hall, 111 South Grand Avenue, as well American Samoa, at 3 siren sites to be disclosed with an online reservation. When? Noon and 2 p.m. Saturday. Price, $25 to $58, includes admission to the LA Phil's noon to midnight event. Siren sites are free with reservation. Info, 323-850-2000, www.lawphil.com. Running time, 1 hour, 5 minutes. HTML body article aside details fig caption figure footer header group NAV section summary DLDDDTIMG display, block, margin, 0, padding, 0, head style. Galleries after content, display, block, background color, number FF5443, margin, 16px auto 0, height, 5px, width, 100px. Galleries before content, entertainment videos, display, block, font, 723px/25px Belizio, Georgia, Droid serif, text align, center, color, number 1E1E1E. Dash. Caption. Film composer Tyler Bates demonstrates the guitar viol, a cross between a guitar and a violin. He has used the instrument on numerous projects, including 300 and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Film composer Tyler Bates demonstrates the guitar viol, a cross between a guitar and a violin. He has used the instrument on numerous projects, including 300 and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Caption. Film composer Tyler Bates demonstrates the guitar viol, a cross between a guitar and a violin. He has used the instrument on numerous projects, including 300 and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Film composer Tyler Bates demonstrates the guitar viol, a cross between a guitar and a violin. He has used the instrument on numerous projects, including 300 and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Caption: Suburbicon star Julianne Moore and director George Clooney stopped by the LA Times studio at the Toronto International Film Festival to discuss their new film. Suburbicon star Julianne Moore and director George Clooney stopped by the LA Times studio at the Toronto International Film Festival to discuss their new film. Caption: Universal Studios pulls out the knives, axes, and pig heads to scare you silly. Universal Studios pulls out the knives, axes, and pig heads to scare you silly. Caption: A sneak peek at Yayoi Kusuma's Infinity Mirrors exhibit at the Broad. It runs from October 21 to January 1. A sneak peek at Yayoi Kusuma's Infinity Mirrors exhibit at the Broad. It runs from October 21 to January 1. Caption: LA Times photo shoot with AIYY. LA Times photo shoot with AIYY. Mark.Sweat at latimes.com. Also, Spamilton, musical spoof lands its punches softly, and with a smile. LA Opera lets Ingmar Bergman's film Persona sing. LA Phil Centennial plans, unprecedented commissions, new Gary home for Yola. How Placido Domingo taught LA to love opera.